Hey everybody, this is Perch, and I want to address a couple questions I've gotten around, in particular, what do I have against the term SJW? So I've been kind of avoiding this topic, but for the last year, people have mentioned things at different times, and I would say 100% of the videos, somebody comes in to talk about the SJWs in the comments. And I have kind of a bet going with myself that I'm going to give up liquor for a week if nobody in the comments says anything about SJWs. And I've been going a year now. No, it's permanent part of comics. And if you've been seeing kind of some of my responses in the comments, I get testy. I think in the comments, I have this reputation. Well, I used to have the reputation of being a nice guy, and then now I think I have the reputation of being a drunk. So I'm moving up in the world. Maybe I'm in some strange way. But generally, people think I'm nice and balanced. I get two questions: the SJW one, and then one I want to answer first because it leads into the other one. It'll make it more sense. Is what do I dislike? Because people who are kind of careful listeners to the show, they've heard this before. I'm pro comics, all of them. I can think a comic is dumb or the premise is poor, like Nubia, real one, having a school shooting in a comic aimed at YA is dumb. In my opinion, I think that was a dumb choice. However, I don't want the book banned. I don't want Mariko Tamaki, or no, that wasn't Mariko Tamaki. Who did that one? Anyway, I don't want the creative team run out of comics. I think they should do what they want. I'm not looking to get anyone canceled. I'm not looking to get anyone removed from comics. I want more comics, and I love comics. And if every single time, always, if you come to me and it's like, is the choice getting rid of comics or adding more? I'm always going to pick adding more, even though it's true on Fridays I'm saying there's too many comics. It seems like a massive contradiction, right? Well, it can be. I admit there's some hypocrisy in there. But when I see, like DC publishing 75 comics and Marvel publishing 75 comics, what goes in my head is, how are they going to market and promote all these comics? How are they going to, inform the buyers what to buy? Like, how do you stand out in that crowd when you're Image and you're pushing 60 plus comics? How are you, there's the market gets saturated. And in my mind, the inevitable result of saturation is things collapse or things fall apart, and then there's less comics. And I don't want there to be less comics. So I'm like, hey, easy does it. This is almost a classic case of like, kids who find themselves, free in the house and they can eat whatever they want, and they just start gorging themselves on candy, and eventually they eat so much they just start vomiting everywhere, and then they're sick of candy. I don't want that bad result, and that feels like what a little bit comics are going to get into. But generally speaking, I am in favor of comics, and I think it's good. So I like most things, but there are definitely things I dislike. People say, do you just like everything? No, there's lots of things I hate with a passion. Edie Brickell. Fuck Edie Brickell. I hate Edie Brickell. Everything about anything Edie Brickell touches. No. Arby's. Arby's is just dog shit. I'm sorry. That meat in there, it's not even real meat. They're basically taking the remnant meat that they're not selling to their other subsidiaries, like the Sizzler. So imagine this, by the way. The Arby's meat is not good enough for the Sizzler. That's what you're eating. They take this meat, they repress it, and they dye it to kind of hide the cancer spots and other gross parts, and that's what you're putting in your mouth. I'll eat a hot dog off the street in New York before I eat at Arby's. No doubt about it. The Orlando airport. I don't get that airport at all. You step off the plane, and maybe you're excited to go to Disney World, or maybe you got a work conference or whatever, and like the carpet is just mushy with humidity, and it smells. And it's like, forget the bat and the pangolin. This is where COVID came from, that carpet right there. And then they promote this tram tunnel that you get in. When you fly into Orlando, you get on this little sky train that takes you to another terminal so you can get the hell out and into fresh air. And they promote it like it's a ride. Like, you come to Disney World, but don't forget to do the ride at the airport. You mean the sky train? Are you effing kidding me? It's not a ride. God. Anyway, I can go on and on. I've got a long list of things that bug me, for sure. But generally with comics, yes, I love comics. It's absolutely true. So what's the deal with SJWs then? Here's my problem with it. And I want to state this very clearly, because I think people miss this. I am fine with you thinking whatever you think. Contrary to popular belief, I like other people having different opinions. It makes me stronger, frankly, when I hear your differing opinion. I welcome listening to shows I don't agree with. I welcome hearing other people's points of view. It tends to refine my point of view. It tends to educate me. I appreciate that. And I think anyone who seals themselves off and emotionally cannot handle differing opinions, or feels the need to bitch every time they hear a differing opinion is a child. I think you're mentally a child if that's you. I think it's good to hear other opinions. I see some of the creators who will wall themselves off. I see people slobbering their way, rolling their giant tub of lard into DMs to say things like, you shouldn't ever give any different opinion any oxygen whatsoever. It's like, no, you absolutely should. We need to hear other opinions. If you are too fragile to hear someone else's opinion, you're not capable for this world. You need to make your way either into a daycare or a nursing home, depending on where you fall in the age spectrum. But it's good to hear other opinions. I think that I've heard a lot of people define SJW. I've heard a lot of people explain what their view of it is. But the part of what tipped it over for me is just it got used so freaking much. And it started, in my mind, to just come synonymous with dick. When people want to insult each other, it's like, oh, you're being an SJW. It's an SJW. I'm reminded of the Terrence of Phillips, like, you're a dick. Now you're a dick, buddy. Now you're a dick. You're a dick. That's how it starts to come across in my head. It's like somebody's just throwing around a dumb insult. That's how it sounds to me. And the other part is, one of the defining traits, as it's been defined, is that this SJW behavior is basically, it's not allowing somebody their own opinion. It's basically that the SJW opinion, or whatever it is the opinion. And if you don't have that opinion, you're going to get attacked or bullied or pushed around or told what to do. Now, I don't like to be told what to do. I hate it. I won't be told what to do. So that behavior irritates the crap out of me. So when people show up in my comments and tell me, oh, you're ignoring the SJWs. You can't ignore the SJWs. Why do you always hide behind the SJWs? Stop telling me what to do. Bluntly, the behavior that you're exhibiting there feels like the definition of SJW. I understand you are right-wing, or you are not a liberal, or whatever it is, or you're not into social justice or pronouns or whatever it happens to be, but you're still acting like a dick. So I don't like the term because it has no meaning to me. Now, having said that, you can do whatever you want. You can. It's not going to bother me. I'll say it in the most crude way possible. My dick gets no smaller if you use that term. So go nuts. If you like it, good for you. I don't mind it. It's just not for me. It's not for me. I just find the term overused. It doesn't mean anything. So when people come into the comments saying, why don't I talk more about SJWs? My answer is, number one, I'm bored. And number two, there are 50,000 other channels, much more popular than mine. So clearly, if we're talking about popularity contest, I'm wrong. Because if I wanted more subscribers, more hits, more likes, more super chats, more fun, then I would be talking about this stuff all the time, because that's clearly what it takes to get a higher channel. But it bores me. You'll know I've tipped over and I care about absolutely nothing when I start doing videos like this, because it's like, at that point, I'm doing this because I enjoy it. If I'm like, and now today we're going to talk about SJWs and we're going to talk about critical race theory and Amber Heard, it's just not what I'm interested in. It's not, and that's not throwing shade at somebody who does it. If you do those, if you're somebody who does those videos, or you like somebody who does those videos, good for you. I can't do it. Just like I cannot do a channel here talking about I don't know how to make cinder blocks. I have no freaking idea how to make cinder blocks, and just thinking about how to make cinder blocks bores me. So I would be a terrible how to make cinder blocks channel. That is an interesting channel, though. Somebody should do that. Anyway, that's just me. That's what I'm into, and that's what I do. So if this is something that interests you, or those topics are things that you can be passionate about, go for it. Just like the comic book discussion. Put your videos out there. I'd rather more than less. I don't want anybody removed. I don't want anybody canceled. I just also want the freedom to, do what I want to do, because, it is my channel, and, I'm willing to take the consequences. If a bunch of people listen to this video and everybody downvotes it because they just cannot, I'm too sensitive to hear anyone say something that I remotely disagree with in any fashion. Go for it. Go nuts. Maybe you downvoted it because you love Arby's. That's fair. That is fair. I mean, it's gross, spotted cancer meat. No, 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 thank you. My argument, my pitch, as always, in all my videos, and I've said this before, and I think people maybe they don't think I'm serious, or I have no idea, is I want you to go out and have your own opinion. Every now and then somebody comes in the comments and says, I don't always agree with you, but I appreciate you putting out your opinion. Great. That's all I ask for. I don't want, this is not a cult of personality channel. I want you to have your own view. I'm hoping to give you a couple, pieces of information or spark some thoughts so you come up with your own ideas, your own differing ideas, your own conflicting ideas. That's good. That's healthy. I am arguing for a world where we can debate each other. We can come with different perspectives, different ideas, and not start, World War III with each other. That's what we need. That's what comics needs. That's what life needs. Quite frankly, it's better when people can have their own views and can talk about them in a reasonable way and not come off like a dumb asshole. Whether you're an SJW, anti-SJW, anti-SJW, SJWK, or whatever the different variation is. It's SJW Red and Black, SJW NWO Faction, SJW Wolfpack, SJW DX, I don't, whatever it is. The whole thing is just, it's tiring for me. I'm tired out. Now, I'm not saying you have to be tired out. If you're still passionate about it, awesome. But I am. So that's why I don't do videos about it. It's not trying to hide. I mean, people are, it's amazing the kind of questions sometimes I get, like, are you trying to cover for the SJW Secret Whisper Network plot? It's like, bitch, no. Sorry. I just, goddamn. This is why I drink. This is why I drink, people. Anyway, that's the answer. I don't know. Do you care? Who cares about this? A couple of you cares because it keeps coming up. But I do want to stress, I'm telling you as directly as possible. If this interests you, I don't think you're dumb. I don't think you're stupid. I don't think you're a lesser person. I don't think you're ignorant. I think it's completely fine. I have many friends who self-proclaimed SJWs and many friends who are self-proclaimed haters of SJWs. And they're still normal, good people. They are. And that's fine. What do I have to say about this? This is a silly little channel. We'd all be better off if we just focused on what made ourselves happy and worried a little bit less about what other people like or dislike. It's up to them. Let's just assume everyone's an adult, wherever you fall, and they can kind of do what they want to do. Okay? That's my pitch. I'm sure, come in and tell me how I'm wrong because the SJWs, but anyway, you asked, that's my honest answer. I'm bored of it. I'm just bored. Doesn't mean I'm converting to the Communist Party. I'm just bored. That's all. So anyway, there you go. Comic stuff, fun stuff coming up. Yeah, there you go. Don't eat at Arby's. Gross.